Learn about variables in JavaScript. So let's get started. I am going to use this website to kind of teach JavaScript because we're just learning the basics right now. So if you go to this website rebel.replit and then you create an account, then you can basically open a rep and then you can use any programming language. So here you could practice anything, but we care about JavaScript, so we're going to use Node.js, which is the project that is built on JavaScript, and it lets us write JavaScript code and actually run the code. So here is what JavaScript file would look like. It's basically the file name .js, and the JS stands for JavaScript. Now we could get started. So let's start with comments. Today we're going to be learning about variables. Now putting two dashes in front of something makes it a comment. So right now if we run, nothing happens. The computer ignores this. This is just for people. So if I have just random characters without that dash in front of it, let's save it, the computer tries to run it and it gets an error because it can't run what that is. And then we have this other property that we're going to be using a lot called console log. Let's just do hello world. And console log means it just logs whatever we give it to here. So if I save this, now it prints out hello world. So it's console logging. This is the console and it's logging to the console whatever value we give. Okay, so let's get to variables. What are variables? So let's say we have called name, and let me just say Nasser. So here is, for example, here is a variable. We created a variable with var keyword called name, and it has a value of Nasser. So now if I console log the name, which is the variable name, and I save this, I get Nasser. So you see how you can assign variable a value and then you can use it. So let's say, for example, I had another code way here. So let's say I printed out Nasser here and here, and so I used the actual value without variable, and comment that. Now if I save this, that's great, right? But what if I wanted to change the name? So let's just say here, let's just say my name is, and my name is. So if I save this, it says my name is Nasser, right? But what if I changed my name? Or let's say the customer name was Nasser, and now what if we change the customer? Then we have to go here, let's say to John, I have to go here and say John, John and then I'm like, that works. But what if another person comes here, then they have to change all of them, right? So the problem with just using the value is without variables is, and most programs contain like millions or thousands of lines of code. So imagine right now you could see all the trouble all the time it takes us to update 4 places. What if we had, I don't know, like 2,000 places we use this, and then you have to spell it correctly every time? That's a lot of problem, right? But if we create a variable just called name, then I only have to assign the name once. Then what I can do is here, now variable cannot go in there. We'll discuss why, but you can just add the variable at the end. So then just add here. So if I make this, then add my name is last name, remove this and name. Now my name is John. If I wanted to change it to Nasser, my name is Nasser, right? So it makes it super easy, so you don't have to go update everywhere. So another problem with variables, what if you didn't declare this variable? So let's say I had like this, this is what I had, right? This was in another file and I didn't know what that was, and this is what I had, and I wanted to change the name. Wait, now how would I do it? I could do this. So I could just say, I could declare another one called John, save it. I mean, it works. I created my own variable here, and this word var actually lets you do this, right? It lets you create another one just with the same stuff. But this is actually not correct way to do it, because you should not be recreating something. What you can do is you can just reuse. So you can say name equals to John now. So you just use the same variable identifier. It's called identifier. So variable identifier, you just use the same thing to give a new value. So now you can actually change it all the time like that. That looks great. And var is actually an old keyword. You should use let to create variables now. This is kind of the new. And if I save this, it works just the same. But if I try to recreate variable, then it throws an error. It says, hey, you already created a name. Why do you want to create another one? Right? So that's it. It catches the error. And if you don't pass any value to you can just create just the name without no value. And if I save it, you see it says my name's unidentified, undefined. So if you don't give a variable a name or a value, it becomes just you see, now it catches the error. It's saying, hey, you can't recreate another variable because you already have one called name. So that's the power of let. Let is so now if I run it, you see it says you can't recreate, because var lets you recreate the variable, but let doesn't. var is an old one, and if you want your code to run in older browsers, you have to use var, but in all newer browsers support the let keyword. So that's kind of an advantage to let. So see, that works great. Now what if you don't give any value? Now it says my name is undefined, and because we didn't define anything, we don't have a value. So if you don't have a value, the variable just becomes undefined. So let's go back to John. It's not how you write John. And let's say I wanted to add a company name. So let's say company is equal to, let's just say Google. And I want to add here so the @ sign, and don't worry about this now, we'll cover that in another video. And let me add the company. I'm just gonna copy this all 3 places because I'm adding a new thing. Now if I save this, it says my name is John at Google. So it's like you work at Google, but this looks great. But what if accidentally I change a company? I said company is equal to Facebook, and I save this. Now all of a sudden everyone works at Facebook. It's like, wait a minute. No, you can't just change that. You shouldn't be able to do this. You shouldn't just be able to change the company name, because normally company's name don't change, right? Google is not just gonna come out tomorrow and be like, hey, I changed my name, right? So we want a variable that you can just easily change by mistake. To do that, we create something called const. So we create constant. So if I say const, it stands for constant, and I save now, and I run. Now when I try to assign here, it says, hey, assignment to a constant variable at line 9. So it's saying you can do this because this value is constant. So when you want to create a variable that you want to change, just use let. And when you want to create another variable or kind of placeholder, if you can think of like that you don't want to change, you use const. Yeah, that's all about the variables. See you in the next video.